morning, guys. I figured I would let Fred, Bob, and Sally see you guys for a little bit. They've kind of been a little depressed lately with the way the classroom has looked the last 3 weeks with no students here, just the old teacher. So yeah, I mean, they really miss you guys. I was talking with them yesterday and they were like, when are they gonna come back? And I was like, I don't know. Hopefully sometime soon, but you know, I think they're hanging in there. They really miss you guys. They really do. But you know what? I think they'll survive. So next time you guys are here to do tests or quizzes, I'm sure they would really appreciate it if you guys said hi to them. So don't forget to stop by and say hi to Bob, Fred, and Sally, alright? They miss you guys almost as much as your teacher misses you, but not as much as your teacher misses you. Today's lesson, we have lesson 6. We are finding the missing dimension. So we are searching for the missing dimension in the perimeter of a rectangle, all right? If you guys remember what our formula is for finding the perimeter of the rectangle, it is, remember, our perimeter equals 2 times our length plus 2 times our width, all right? So we are going to use that formula to help us find our missing dimension in today's lesson. But before we do that, I have 2 equations down here that I want us to solve. You guys are familiar with working with these 2-step equations. So remember, when we're using an equation, we're solving algebraically to figure out what our unknown value stands for, right? And how we do that is we have to undo our equation and we have to get our variable all by itself, all right? So we do the opposite of what we're supposed to, all right? So let's just start with this one over here. We want to get our variable by itself, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this 20, right? So this is a positive 20. So we're going to subtract 20 from this side. Remember, we have to do the same thing on either side of our equation to keep it balanced. So we're going to subtract 20 from here, which would be 10. We're going to subtract 20 from positive 20, which is going to be, there's nothing left. And then all we have is our positive 2x. And remember, when we have 2 right beside a variable, remember it means 2 times a number. So what are we going to do? We're going to do the opposite of that. And we're going to go with our division bar. And we're going to divide both sides by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5, correct? So we have 5 equals our, this cancels each other out, and all we have left is our x and our variable, right? Now let's jump over here. Remember, we're going to get rid of our whole number first, so we're going to subtract 8 from either side. So we have 12 left, equals 2x. Now we're going to divide both sides by 2, because we're going to get our variable by itself. We have 6 equals x, all right? Now, you guys are probably not sure why I started off with that, but let's go ahead and jump into our lesson, and I think you guys will be able to understand why. All right, so for our first problem in our lesson today, let's just jump to the top of page 22, and let's read about Grandpa. Grandpa used 30 meters of deer fence to enclose his vegetable garden. His garden is 10 meters long. How wide is it, all right? So we have a missing dimension of our width that we have to find. In this problem, we know the perimeter of the garden is 30 meters, all right? So we're going to use our formula right up here. So we have P equals 2 times our length plus 2 times our width, all right? And we're going to fill in what we know. We know that our perimeter, the whole perimeter, is 30. So we have 30 equals, and we know our, it says it's 10 meters long. So we know our length. The length is 10 meters, so we're going to go 2. Remember, this means times, because if it's right beside our variable, it's 2 times the number. 2 times 10 plus, we don't know our width, so we have 2 with a variable w, all right? Now, this is where we end up in the equation that I worked out earlier, except we're going to substitute our variable x, which stands for w. It It doesn't matter which variable we use, but we're gonna use our W to help us know that it stands for our width that we're trying to find, all right? So down here, we have 30, we know our perimeter is 30. We go 2 times 10, which would be 20, plus 2 times our width, which we were trying to figure out. And then this, what I went over earlier, is how we would solve our equation that we've worked with before. We have to subtract here, get rid of our whole number, then we have bring our 2 and our variable down, then we have to divide, because we're doing the opposite of our multiplication right here, and then we divide both sides by 2, which we come up with 10 divided by 2 would be 5. This cancels each other out, and we simply know that 5 meters is our width, all right? The garden is 5 meters wide. Let's jump to the next one. Mr. Wade put trim around the edge of a ceiling. He used 20 meters of trim. The ceiling is 4 meters wide. How long is it? All right, so we have our drawing up here. So let's use our formula. Perimeter equals 2 times our length plus 2 times our width, right? So let's fill in. We know that 20 is our perimeter, and we know we don't know our length, right? So we have 2 times our length plus 2 times 4, which is our width. So we know that 20 is our perimeter, and then this looks like 21, so we're gonna make this into a capital L so we don't get confused. So now we're right here with the equation that I worked out earlier. We have 20 equals 2 times our length plus 8, because that's our, we know that's what our width is. Now we subtract our whole number from each side of our equal sign. We have 12, and then down here we have 2 times our length, which we're going to do the opposite of multiplication, because that's what this is implying. Divided by 2 both sides, and then we can know that 6 equals our length, all right? The ceiling is 6 meters long. So we use our formula right here, and then we fill in with what we know that the problem gives us, and then we can solve it algebraically, all right? You have 2 problems at the top of the page that are going to be done just like this. They're different problems, but we work them out the exact same way. We fill in the information that we know, and then we can just solve it algebraically to come up with our answer, all right? Looking over the rest of our lesson, there is no star activities, and then we have 2 more. We have 2 more problems at the end of our lesson that you guys may do as well, all right? If you have any questions on that, go ahead and just give me a message or something like that, and hopefully it works out for you guys, all right? That is our lesson for today, finding the missing dimension of our perimeter of a rectangle, all right? Hope you guys have a great day. I will see you guys later.